kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Hashtag look it up. Hashtag look it up. Hashtag look it up.
What is this? Where am I? Let's make deposits into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to the Trebles Show. I am Trebles Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys are beautiful souls. Thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for commenting on YouTube. For the people that are barely joining us for the first time, you're gonna get your socks freaking rocked off today, baby. Yo, the most important thing that you could do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out on all podcast platforms and also on YouTube. Again, engage. Guys, that is the lifeline of all content creators. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Guys, Jesus exists, and I am here today with zero want. I am here only today because I am a man of my word and because Jesus has my back. And we're people of prayer. Do not forget to pray, guys. And as you prepare in a spiritual sense with an intimate relationship with God, I also want you guys to prepare in a physical sense, in a physical 3D realm, because that's where we live. Before we jump into the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood and introduce our next special guest, I want to remind you guys that, guys, there's people out here suffering. Reach out. Guys, please. It takes 1 second to reach out to me or to another podcaster, to the people in my community. You could find my number directly associated with my Instagram account. All you need to do is text me one time and then belong. Do not off yourself. It's not worth it, bro. All right? Check on your boys and dudes. Lives matter. Women lives matter. All the kids' lives matter. And with that, please give a warm welcome to my next special guest. She prepares elite soldiers, civilians on all different sizes, creeds, and shapes and colors. Please give a warm welcome to Jessica Arnold, the combat midwife. How are you?
I'm lovely, sir. Thank you for having me back.
Ooh, it's an absolute pleasure. You're amazing. Dude, did I tell you how amazing you are? You're freaking amazing. Your website, exquisite. I don't know if that's the French word for exquisite, but it's exquisite. It's beautiful. Guys, you gotta check her out. Where can people find you, midwife?
How about midwife.com? Then there's
And also on Instagram.
all the fun links are there. So if you want to do Twitter or X or whatever we're calling that these days, and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all the fun things. So it's combatmidwife.com, where all the handles are just combat midwife.
The last time you were here, we spoke about what to do in a bug out situation and what are the most common things that you see out of your career, research, and also experiences, everything that you've noticed that happens. And some of the things that I changed in my personal bug out bag, and in my life was preparing for how to treat not wounded people, but how to treat dehydration, how to treat menstrual cycles, how to treat women where there's no running water, cleanliness. So I went and I purchased boxes of women necessities so that my children, both my beautiful daughters, are ready to go or to stay wherever it needs to be. Thank you so much for that enlightening episode, by the way. You can find that, guys, also on all podcast platforms, and you could also find it in her website, along with all the other podcasts she's ever been in. Amazing stuff. Thank you.
Oh, what a sweet daddy move. I love that. That warms my midwife heart. That's so cute. That's great. I'm glad that you went out and got sanitary napkins and tampons and all those fun things, because geez Louise, when you don't have them, it's kind of the pits.
Yeah. Your artwork, the way you promote your stuff, the way you go on the road, the people that you're speaking with, the way you post and publish, the way you carry yourself on social media is very important. I want people to take the moment and go check you out. You kick ass, bro, at everything that you do. You're well connected. Also, by the way, mad shout outs to Janet from the Plural Nation podcast. She is my mom. She adopted me just recently. I'm not lying. She took on a big role in my life, and she walked me, she parented me and guided me through some of the most worst moments of my life. And she connected me with you as well. So thank you, Janet. This episode goes out to you. How do you feel today? You ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Janet is an angel. I really enjoyed it speaking with her on her podcast, and she's so sweet and loving and kind. So I might be a little jealous that she's your mom.
Yeah.
She's great.
You want her as a mom too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she is an angel. I'm telling you. Her and her husband are amazing people, just because of the lack of words. And I'm a freaking beaner, and I have very, very small, big words in my vocabulary. I'm gonna tell you right now, she is an amazing human being. Thank God, praise Jesus, let's freaking go. You have been posting very important stuff recently on all social media platforms, specifically on Instagram, where I follow you and I engage with you. You've been posting on birth giving, and how to prepare people on in-house homes and undocumented babies. And we're not talking just about aliens, guys. Talk to me about that. How can we prep? How can we start?
Well, I've seen a trend over the last few years, and this isn't something I normally talk about because people get their panties in a bunch, but it's important for us to know what our options are with our children. And as you know, there's a lot of the CPS system is corrupt. We've got everybody's kind of in panic about the Epstein files being dropped. And
Hmm.
so if that's what they're telling us, it has to be way worse than behind the scenes because they're not going to tell us everything, right? So
Absolutely not. Hmm.
we don't we want our kids to not be in the system, and a lot of families are choosing to not get their babies social security cards and birth certificates, and that is an option. You can still meander through this world. You can get a passport without having a birth certificate or a social security card. So
Wow.
you can still have all the accessibility to function, and they can absolutely make that decision later on as an adult. If they want to take on that contractual agreement with the United States corporation later on in their life, they can make that decision as an adult. But I just feel with everything going on in this world, it may be of some people's best interest to know what their options are when it comes to keeping their kiddos hidden from the government.
You just mentioned like 8 different keywords that people will get triggered with. I'm telling you right now, you said government, you said control, you said birth, you said social security, um, and you even threw in corporation in there, 1000%. And then just before we started talking, just to give some contrast on what she's saying, guys, I called her a conspiracy theorist, and she goes, no, 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 these are not theories anymore. These are just facts, conspiracy facts. We're conspiracy realists at this time, at this point in life, right? It's just what it is. You're right. The more we get exposed to the BS and to the atrocities, we start wanting to protect each other more and more and more. Unfortunately, they give us bread and circuses, and they give us music and entertainment, so much so that we start depending a lot more to depending from the elites. We start depending for them to feed us and give us a McDonald's in each corner of the house, and malt liquor, and all the stuff that only create a bad habit and surrounding negativity around us and our children. So what we start feeding our kids, and then we start not giving a F on where we get our information, and or informing each other on how to get off grid. And that's something that we see. We have Stockholm syndrome at the end of the day, right? A lot of us, not all of us. So I would love to know, you said something about we can give birth to children and then allow them to make the decision themselves to get a passport as an adult. That's interesting. I don't know where to start with that, man. I would want to get more into that.
No, you can get a passport for your minor child without having a social security card or a birth certificate.
Wow.
I know I had to pause there because I needed you had to process the data I just gave you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you have a family Bible?
Yes.
Like the kind where you put your lineage in the front couple of pages? Do you have one of those?
Negative. No.
Okay, go get one of those and you put your family in there, and that will actually serve as a record of birth, and then you can prove maternity and paternity of that child by just normal things like pregnancy tests or pictures, pregnant, this baby.
Oh,
I
wow.
tell my families to make it really dramatic and just show them in the bloody pool with holding the baby after birth. That really freaks out the lady at the Social Security office, passport office.
Hmm.
I like shock and awe. I know you're super surprised by that. So,
I am a little surprised, but everything. I think it's the right thing to do, because that's what they do to us, right? We're just utilizing the tools that they have done to us. They shock us in awe, and then shock us so much so that they could manipulate our freaking thought patterns and emotion. So why not do it back to them? That's what I say all the time.
so
Yeah.
you can take those documents in and you can get your minor child a passport. It will work just fine. I have families do it often. And then passports for minors, they're only 5 years because the child changes so quickly, right? I mean, even a 6-month-old baby doesn't look the same as a 1-year-old baby, right? So they grow so fast. So every 5 years you can go in and get them their new minor passport, and that will serve as an identification, and that'll allow you guys to go in and out of the country if you wanted to travel, and you would be just fine. So you don't need a social security card or a birth certificate, because that's a contract that a minor is making, that a parent is making for a minor to corporation United States, not America.
Undocumented children, you see a trend? Is it happening more often?
In the sphere that I tend to work in as a midwife, I would say yes, just because a lot of parents are just not wanting their kids to have that exposure, and they don't want the government to know that they exist.
Wow.
A lot of families that are homeschoolers, they want to try natural remedies, they don't want to vaccinate their children, they want to homeschool, they want to have home births. We're against the grain people because we're not drinking the Kool-Aid, right? And so because of that, the government will go after us. And CPS is just state sanctioned child trafficking. And because of that, we don't really want to be in cahoots with them. And so if kids are flying under the radar, it's just a thing we might need to think about more often than not.
This episode is for entertainment purposes only, okay, guys, because it's on YouTube and I need to say that to you guys. All right, guys. Also, all right, combat midwife.
Yeah.
What are the first, I want to say, top 5 things that you would recommend the audience to do if they're interested in having a home birth? How do you prep physically? With what materials? Logically, what do you do at home to make this possible at the most safest way ever?
You should be prepping for conception months, if not a year out. And that's mom and dad. A lot of fertility issues and complications get blamed on the mother, but really they're father linked. So things like preeclampsia, eclampsia, morning sickness, and a host of other problems, those are all related. Those are all a direct reflection of dad's health. So if your child's mother is experiencing morning sickness throughout her pregnancy for either the first trimester or the whole pregnancy, that is a direct reflection of the lack of health that dad's sperm had.
So preparing your body before you even conceive or
Right.
procreate.
Right. And that is also going to set you up for success when it comes to birth. Unfortunately, in Western culture, we really think that we should just kind of lay around and kind of hang out until baby shows up. But you really you need to be moving your body. You need to be working out. You need to be lifting weights. I love it when I see women that are, deadlifting a junk ton of weight. They're doing pull-ups. Now you can't start that stuff if you're already pregnant and you weren't doing those things prior to conception. You'll hurt yourself and you'll hurt the baby. But if you were working that hard prior to conception, you can keep up that momentum as long as you're not utilizing your abs, because you don't want to actually tear. You can tear the muscles. That has to be surgically repaired. But so we don't want to do that, but we do want to keep up movement. So whether you're a yoga person, a Pilates person, you're a runner, whatever you are, keeping that up during pregnancy is going to make labor and delivery and postpartum that much easier. And I said easier. I didn't say easy.
Keyword, easier.
Yeah.
We have an understanding, I think most of us at least, that if the baby comes out sick, or it's because the mother was using, drinking, etc., the lack of, care she took for her own body. I had no idea that it also affects the kid if I am in bad shape and then I come and I conceive a baby and I don't prep and I don't take the right precautions as she is developing in the womb.
Right. So that's
Mm.
everything from any type of nicotine, any type of alcohol, not enough protein, low testosterone. Your underwear plays a really big
Mm.
role in that.
Mm.
So if you're wearing any, well, I would say any sort of synthetic clothing, but specifically stuff that's touching your skin, because all of those plastics are endocrine disruptors, and so they're seeping into your body through your pores, and then they're causing endocrine changes. So those are the hormones that regulate your body. That's the endocrine system, and
Mm.
and that's going to cause mutations of the sperm. And so the problem then is then I don't have a really, so if I'm the egg, right, because I'm the female, so I'm the egg, we pick what sperm is actually the winner. It's not who gets there first. That's a misconception that has been debunked in the last few years. So it's the egg that's going to select, but that egg is selecting the sperm based on what is available. So she's picking the best one out of the bunch. But if the best one is still not good, we're going to have a not great outcome, right? So that's when we're dealing with problems with the pregnancy and or baby.
After the baby is born, can the mother still continue to have these problems, physical problems, at least health problems?
So uh preeclampsia, yes. So you can have preeclampsia or eclampsia up to 12 weeks postpartum, even if you didn't have it in pregnancy.
Mm.
Yeah, and so that's high blood pressure, protein in your urine, and a bunch of other symptoms that can cause really bad problems in your body to the point where you become eclamptic, which is the presentation of seizures. And that can cause hemorrhaging, loss of baby, loss of mom's life, that type of stuff. So those are
Wow.
very, very serious, and we want to avoid all of that. So preconception counseling is really, really important, and putting mom and dad on a great diet and working out and getting rid of the toxins in your house. And that's anything that has a smell is an endocrine disruptor that isn't a natural scent. So that's the
Mm.
Glade plug-in thingies, that's fabric softener, that's detergent, that's shampoo, that's makeup. Cut it all out, because all of those are endocrine disruptors, and they're gonna just change the structure of the DNA and of yeah, they're just gonna make the connection of the sperm and the egg become complicated. I'm trying to not teach a anatomy and physiology class. I'm trying to use layman's terms. I apologize for the stuttering.
You don't have to worry about the stuttering. I know it's been a long week for all of us, and I know you're a very, very busy woman. Again, thank you for your presence and your time and your wisdom. So, you know what? And it's true, 100%. 100% with the toxins in your deodorant and even the shampoo, something as simple as using a different a different toothpaste. It is supremely important, uber important for you guys to understand that your body and your skin is the largest organ, and anything that you put your body through will attack your nervous system, specifically your skin. Sunlight, red light therapy, blue light, all of these things have different effects on your body, either to help you heal or give you a different reaction, a negative reaction at that. Also, I must remind you that children are born with sometimes genetic, like you said, mutations that they carry on for the rest of their lives, and you just can't flush it out. And unfortunately, when they procreate, then their kids will have that chain reaction. It's only on growing on this mutation. So it's very important for you to take over your body. It's not just about physically taking the baby out of the womb. It starts with your body before you even have the time to procreate, right? So it's a process from
Sure.
beginning.
And I'm not into blaming parents. It's just really, I'm teaching the science behind this whole process. We live in a fallen world. I have no control over the water, the air, what's being sprayed in the sky. I have no control over the soil depletion. I have no control over the food that we're eating to the most, right? We can only do so much, okay? You brought up toothpaste. I just had a nervous breakdown this weekend because I spend $20 a thing on toothpaste and I just found out that there's a whole bunch of lead in it. So I thought I was doing the right thing and I made a mistake. So I want people to have grace and understanding that you can't be perfect all of the time. You're going to make mistakes. You have to unlearn all of these things. And corporations are evil and they're going to do bad things. So I had to cry it out this weekend. I had to give myself some grace. I threw it all away and said, great, we're going to start over. We're going to learn something new. Okay. So be kind to yourself. And there are chromosomal genetic abnormalities we have no control over because we live in a fallen world. And those babies are just as valuable and just as important as anyone that is considered quote unquote normal, right? So we love all life. All life is valuable. I just want to set people up for the best success possible. And it's important to start that before you conceive. But if you didn't, we don't need to sit there and beat ourselves up either.
1000%. That pushes me, that just light bulb in my brain right now. You have countless stories and you help countless elite soldiers, warriors, and even civilians to survive one more day and to get the best outcome that you can through your teachings. What's one of the stories that mostly impacted you regarding this category? The undocumented baby category, having it at home.
Oh, having a baby at home? What's my favorite home birth story?
Yes. Or the most impactful one.
Most impactful one. I would have to say that it was probably the first home birth I ever attended.
Wow.
It changed the trajectory and it solidified what I believed in my heart. I just didn't know how to put into words. So I've always believed that birth is natural. It's a normal physiological process that happens during women's life cycles. It very rarely needs intervention. It's extremely normal. God made us this way. We're supposed to have babies. But I thought, because I just live in the same world you do, that if I wanted to deliver babies, I needed to go to medical school. And there's something in my heart that was just fighting against that. And I didn't like the system and I didn't like where it was going. I'd already been in EMS for a really long time by that point. And I was like, I just need to find a different pathway. And so did a lot of homework and researched midwifery. And I went, wow, this is so cool. So I reached out to some midwives and they invited me to go to a birth with them.
Ooh.
I'd already seen several births, but I'd seen them in a hospital environment. And while the birth is beautiful, the process that women go through in that environment it's traumatizing. So, and
Just a little.
but it's not supposed to be. What I'm saying is the environment causes it to be traumatizing, not the birth itself. Birth is beautiful. It's a coming of age story, right? It's going from being a maiden to a mother. And that's sacred and it shouldn't be traumatizing. It shouldn't be abusive, but the hospital system makes it that way. So to be able to see a home birth was really cool. And yeah, I was so excited. So it was out in the middle of nowhere in Texas during a ice storm.
Wow.
And they were ranchers that worked for the ranch. So they lived on the property for the people that owned the big ranch. And they lived in a cute little cabin. And it was kind of, that sleet, snow, ice kind of stuff coming down. So it was cold. And I think the hot water heater went out. I don't speak fluent Spanish and they did not speak English.
Oh, snap. Look at all the obstacles already, man. I'm visualizing this as you're saying it.
So I being in EMS, I can do a little bit of conversational Spanish and a little bit of medical Spanish. So at the time, right now I can barely do that, but at the time I could. And so I could get enough out of things, do you need another blanket? Are you cold? Are you hot? Where's, that type of stuff. But they had a little 2-year-old girl who was sleeping in the other room and mama really wanted to have a water birth and she really wanted to have that baby before The sun started to come up because little one was going to wake up, right?
Uh-oh.
And,
Mm.
and that was her wish. Well, I think the water heater broke with the cold. I think that's what happened. And so I put all the pots on the stove and I was boiling water. And then we were having a hard time getting the pool to blow up as quickly as we wanted to because this birth was happening fast. So
Oh yeah.
I told Daddy because I said, is that your truck outside? And Dad said yes. And I said, drive me to the gas station. We got to go. So he drove
Mm.
me to the gas station and I have the, not blown up birth pool, and I blow it up with the tire air, right?
Hmm.
Throw it over my head, and I climbed in the back of the truck,
Hmm.
hold it over my head, and I said, you can't go above this because I didn't know how to do numbers. I was having a hard time. So I said, don't go above this. And I said, don't go above 20 miles an hour because I'm going to fly out with the pool.
Parachute.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we get back to the house and I filled it all up. I put all the hot water in there and the little one wakes up.
Oh goodness.
And so I have a baby, the little one on my hip, and I'm filling up the tub with all the hot water as I'm trying to shush the little one because she wants her mama, but mama's working right now. Mama's busy.
Mm.
So all of a sudden, the mom's like, just forget it. The pool's not gonna, this baby's coming, and she's crowning with the baby. So I stripped the 3-year-old down and threw all her Barbies in the birth pool, tossed her in the pool, and she was frolicking. Mommy, thank you. Mommy, thank you so much for getting me a pool. I love this pool. This is so great. I get a baby and a pool, mommy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you have this girl, little baby girl, praising mommy in the background as she pops out a baby. Everybody's happy. It was beautiful.
What an amazing story. It's always the first one that impacts you the hardest, man. Wow.
So
Baby
that,
was healthy, I assume.
yeah, everything was fine. Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. And I had enough hot water going, so it was great. I could, I got to make her a cup of tea afterwards. I dumped all the water into the pool, let little one play, and then made her some soup, and we tucked them all in, and it was great.
You know what, Jessica? When you talk about what you've lived through, I see a sparkle in your eye. You love this, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
It's like your calling. You can tell. The way you speak about it, the way the passion you have with that, like it doesn't matter what you feel, what your day was like. When it comes down to this, you love helping other people. You love what you do. It's amazing.
Yeah, I do love it.
There's a lot of people that go a whole entire lifetime without finding not only a hobby but their passions, and they forget about the creativity that they have and the connection, their divinity, and the power that they have with their mind to reach for the stars and commit to something and be free. Because quite honestly, I like saying this a lot on the show. It doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't matter. You know what matters? Can you say that you are free? A lot
Mm,
of people aren't. A lot of people live their entire life enslaved to a system and to beliefs. And we have trained not to see specific things like, for example, the stuff that you're showing us, the
yeah.
stuff, the stuff that we've lived. Yeah, man. It's
Oh,
amazing.
thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And it takes a special person. So the reason I say that is because um there's a lot of people that become teachers just because of revenge or because it's easy. It's the first thing that they can major in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't have a passion for it. So they're going to only invest so much of it. But you have invested so much of this and to helping other people and sharpening your craft, that's the most effective thing that you can get. The effective training that you can get, the most impactful training that you can get. So this is why I always tell everybody, guys, I may not always agree with my special guest. With her, I do, but you have to have respect. And the reason I have bring these people over is to amplify the message. They have something that they're master, that they're craftsmen at, something that they're really passionate about, and at the same time, they're helping other people, regardless of the money, regardless of their triumphant stories. This is the stuff that we want to expose on the show. Not talk about only about Michelle Obama's dick and how the world is rotten. It's about talking how important it is to help each other out and enlighten each other and uplift and make humanity great again. That's very important. And you're an asset to that. You're a freaking warrior. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, thanks. I really needed to hear that. I've been feeling kind of down with all the nasty stuff that we've been hearing going around lately, and I really want to start a crusade right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Feeling like we need another one, but it's we don't always have control over that, right? And so the only thing I have control over is how I treat other people and the information that I give to people, and I hope that it changes their life for the positive.
What an amazing story. On the way out of this beautiful episode, let me ask you something. What's your favorite emotion?
What's my favorite emotion? Elation.
Repeat that one more time.
Elation, like being excited, ecstatic, elated. I'm overjoyed, over the moon.
Over the moon. That's gorgeous.
Mm.
Um, I want to dedicate this episode to Cool MG66. He just followed us on Instagram. Thank you so much for enjoying and collaborating and liking and sharing and commenting on Instagram. Guys, there's a lot of new followers also on YouTube. I want to encourage everybody out there that if you're on YouTube and you're here now today and you like this episode, you like what she has to offer, don't only check her out, but also leave some comments. It's the lifeline of our show. As creators, engagement is 1000%. Do you actually think that I do this to become rich? I do this because it genuinely makes me happy, not only to conversate and resonate with people like Combat Midwife, but also teach you and suggest to you to hashtag look it up and take the time of the day to do your own research and learn something that's going to make you benefit off of and also survive one more day. Jessica, what are your final thoughts on the way out?
Oh my gosh, my final thoughts. This world is crazy, so let's train together and learn together and be able to make it from one place to the next and do exactly what God had us to do here. That's really what it's all about. Is we have a mission or a gift or a way to give back, and we should be able to tap into that and share it with others.
Thank you so much for those words. Guys, if you guys go on Google right now, it only takes 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Go on Google and put Combat Midwife. Just put Combat Midwife. The first person that comes up is her. Make sure you check her out and drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And on Spotify, that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Stay humble. Be humble always, but don't you dare be invisible. Peace. Woo! That was an episode, man.